Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy Live. We got a great show lined up for you guys tonight. Got Mr. Lee Hickle with us,
You
and
like
we've
my
also,
new decoration I
yeah,
have
man,
behind
I,
me?
I see you've been working hard back there, man. It's looking pretty
I
good
worked
back
hard
there.
yesterday.
So,
Yeah.
heck, yeah, Yvonne's been working you way too much. So, also we got Aaron Leslie. He's having some internet issues here, so we're still trying to get Aaron. So we're just going to kind of leave that screen up, and hopefully he can pop back in. And we'll see if we can eventually get Aaron on. But we do have two amazing guests on tonight. First timers on the show, both of them. We got Rene and Miguel.
Actually, three guests.
Yeah, and then yeah, three.
Renee,
And
Miguel,
Rene, Miguel Sanchez,
and
and we also
Brandon.
got Brandon Perryman. So three new guests that we've never had on before. Man, they tore it up this weekend down in Smoking on the Rio, and we was like, man, we got to get these guys on. So in the
For sure.
meantime, we got some folks steadily popping on. We've got Mr. Sam with us tonight. We got Mr. Gordon with us. Got Al. Thank you for being here. Mr. John. Let's see, and Aaron, we're trying. So,
Yeah.
Mark,
Yeah.
appreciate you being here from Fort Worth, Texas. Big homies in the house. Good evening. How you guys doing? Mr. Bobby, come on now. Glad to have you here, Bobby. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it to Irving. I hope you are. That's right there in your neck of the woods. Man, I'm getting ready for that one. I got to go back and see if I can repeat. I GC'd Irving last year, and I'm excited to get back again this year. And man, it's going. I saw the weather. Woo! It's going to be like
It's
60
cold.
degrees. Well, it's going to be 65 that morning, but it's going to be
Okay.
28 that afternoon. So,
28.
yeah, Saturday the high's like 64, and it's going to be 28 degrees that night. They said wind's going to be coming out of the west like at
Oh,
35 miles an hour. So,
and I'm so glad I live down here on the Gulf Coast, Gulf of
yeah,
America.
that's it. Gulf
Telling
of America. That's it.
you,
So,
baby.
Gabe, thank
Oh,
you for being here. Mr. Slade, we appreciate you being here. Chris, thank you for joining us. Yeah, okay, let's see. May visit. Well, come on by and visit now. That's for
mhm.
sure. So, anyway,
Milan.
yeah, it's going to be good. Let's see if we got Aaron. Aaron, can you hear us, brother? Aaron, no, he gone again. Ain't
He's
working. Man, I don't know.
he's
We got to
locked
get
up.
Aaron back on track now because he was out of action last week. And he's out of action again this week. So, anyway,
Mhm.
but no, I'm looking forward to it. Our season's really kind of fixing to kick off. We've had a couple so far over here in Louisiana, and ready to get back over to Texas
Where's
and
it at?
do a little bit of good stuff over there. Aaron's trying. Oh, there we go. I think he's going. Hey, there we. He threw that dead gum. He threw that computer away and got his cell phone rolling
There you
now.
go.
Hey, brother, what's up? Now we can see you. You there? Oh gosh.
I can hear him.
Can you hear us, Aaron? All right, we're still working on Aaron. Aaron's got some technical difficulties, but he's getting better. So,
Yeah.
Emlyn, thank you for joining us. And let's see, making injections while listening to the y'all. There you go, man.
Nice.
I've got a whole desk over here with a whole bunch of stuff I was starting. Hadn't started making everything up yet, but I got a couple of the injection powders in the Ziploc bag so I can drop them in on the Friday morning.
I'm gonna let
Aaron,
you
you
know
there,
right
brother?
now, Slade Rodriguez sounds like it's a superstar movie theater name.
Yeah, it
Slade.
does, man.
Slade
That's a cool
Rodriguez.
name.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
anyway, Aaron, can you hear us, brother? Can you hear us?
Man, I had to get on my phone. I don't know what to
There
do.
we
You got to hear me?
go. All right, we got you
Yeah.
now. All right,
All
we
right.
got you. No static. Everything's
I don't know why
good.
I can't connect to the internet with my laptop. I don't understand what's going on there, but can't live stream from it. I guess doesn't have enough
Yeah,
power. I
yeah.
don't know.
It was.
Pay a lot of
It
money
was.
for high speed, but
Well, a lot of times you have high speed download, but you've got to have upload speed. And if you don't have a
I'll be
very
making a
fast
phone
up,
call tomorrow.
yeah, you tell them,
There you
hey,
go.
I'm on a show with 55,000 people a week watching. I need some internet, man. I'm tired of this bull crap.
Oh
So
man, I don't do this one once a week, so I don't know if we got a problem or not until it comes about 6:45, right?
I got you.
Oh
Man.
Oh
man.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, we got a few folks coming on here. We got a couple great guests tonight, and it's going to be good. We got Rene uh, and his brother and
Miguel Sanchez.
Miguel, and we
Mm-hmm.
also got Mr. Brandon on here as well. So, did you cook the Rio? Smoking on the Rio, Aaron?
No. I went to Santa Ana and did the Cody cook-off, Lone
The
Star.
Cody cook-off. Okay.
Daniel and April Christine Rodriguez. Daniel and April, they were #1 cooks of the year for Lone Star, so I went out and supported them and
There you go.
hung out with those guys. So
There you go. That's good. That's good. Oh my
Hey, Slade's
goodness.
giving you some good advice right here, Aaron. Speed test it with Google Speed Test, and
That's
then you can
it.
see what you
yeah,
got.
man, I don't know how to use that, so I have to get some help.
Get your computer. Get your computer
Just
and do
Google
speed. Just
speed
type
test.
in speed test, and then what it'll
Speed
do,
test.
speed test. Yep. And you're looking for the upload, not the download speed. You got to have, man. You need at least 15 or 20 on upload to be really, really good. 30's better.
I can
Mine's
barely turn these damn things on.
Oh goodness gracious! Where are you cooking at this weekend, Aaron?
I don't know yet, man. I may stay home. If not, I may go up to Outlaw. That one in Irving. So
Yeah,
I already
that's where.
signed, I mean, already called and reserved a spot. So I
Yep,
just don't know if I get to make it. I may have to stay and work.
that's where I'm gonna
Mike,
be.
didn't you and Aaron have a big bet last year at this Irving, Texas?
West
No,
Texas.
that was at West.
West.
That was West? Okay.
Yeah. I went down in his neck of the woods, and if he comes up here to Irving,
No. You did
Yeah.
not go to my neck of the
No,
woods.
he
West
did
not.
Texas is
No, he
nowhere
didn't.
near me.
that ain't near
Nowhere
me
near
either,
it.
buddy. I ain't even
Well,
close
there you
to
go.
it.
I mean,
Aaron was
5
only
hours.
9 hours away from it.
That's right. So now Irving's more in my backyard. I'm only 3.5 hours away. So
Irving's not the one to really play with that because nobody knows what the hell they want.
I don't know. I've got a GC last year. I got RGC the year before, and I think fourth the year before that. So I'm
Well,
locked
then
and
I
loaded.
shouldn't be talking then. I don't know.
I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready one more time, baby. Come on, give me one more, baby. So, oh, you know how that is, man. You can go from hero to zero, from hero to chump before you know it. So,
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Weather's going to be miserable. 35, 40 mile an hour winds. It's not going to be
Golly.
fun. Yeah, I saw the weather forecast, man. There's going to be
Well, I
sustained
guess I
winds of
won't go
15
golfing.
and yeah, sustained winds of 15 and gusting to 35 and 40, and temperature falling all day long. So,
Aren't you happy you have a
anyway,
porch trailer? Good
I'm
Lord.
I'm glad I got my trailer because I will be nice. My smoker's inside. It's gonna be nice, toasty and warm. Hell, I may throw some s'mores on there too. You can't ever tell.
Yeah,
So,
just gotta make sure I park the right way, and it
that's
don't
it.
affect me down. That Jambo keeps me pretty warm inside there.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. Well, it's about time to kick this thing off. We got 33,000 folks on here. Man, we got to thank our partners. Look, I know a lot of you people out there are looking for certain things and meats and stuff like that. First of all, if you're looking for knives, Gunnar Wilhelm knives, I'm telling you, it's one of the absolute best there is. Once you get the edge right on that thing, it will hold an edge incredibly well. So check them out.
You're almost done. Click
Also,
open file in the top right. to
all
continue.
right. B&B Charcoal. B&B Charcoal picked up Lee Hickle and myself both for Team B&B this year, so we're super excited to have them on board. Miss Gail.
I even got a
down
pay
in Davis.
raise. They now have me as an ambassador.
Well, there you go. So,
yeah,
heck
even
yeah.
better. The pay
That's
raise is
even
still
better.
0, but hey, it's good.
That's right. That's all good. We got Miss Daigle Barbecue, Miss Gail down in South Louisiana around that Lafayette area. Got some amazing products. Don't forget to check them out. And as we always say, if you're needing meats, Raider Red Meats, call Miss Kirsten at Raider Red Meat. It's part of the Texas Tech University. They have got a full house of Prairie Fresh. They carry Prairie Fresh Primes. They got some Wagyu briskets, I'm pretty sure. And they've also got some incredibly good Prairie Fresh Prime pork. So fast shipping and pretty reasonable too on the shipping. So
Did you say they have prime pork butts and prime ribs?
I'm pretty sure I know it's prime ribs 100%. I'm pretty sure it's prime pork butts as well. So
Nice.
anyway, check them out. Raider Red Meats. And you're supporting a great cause. They raise money through their store to help support the kids that's going through the ag department and teaching them how to butcher stuff out and this and that and everything else. So it goes to help those kids. And man, they got great prices and really good shipping. So check them out, Raider Red Meats. And man, you'll be hooked up. I've got a lot of people that we've sent to her over the last couple of years. So Anyway, we got a couple more folks on here. Mr. Randall, thank you for being here. Mr. Phillip, we
Randall.
appreciate you being here. Mr.
Air
Danny
Force,
Titus,
Lane. He
there
was
we
my
go.
buddy. He helped me cook at World Food, or he helped me cook at World Food, and we won it. So
There you
good to
go.
see
There
Philip
you
Lang
go.
on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, enough of us. Let's bring in the real heroes of this weekend, Rene and Miguel Sanchez, Double S Smokers, brother team that has just absolutely been on fire, especially this weekend. 191 teams down smoking on the Rio. First place chicken, third place perfect 200 on brisket.
Wow.
And lost the tiebreaker and got bumped from first, second, or third. He finished third. So, man, that kind of sucks to always get the tail end of that. But anyway, man, congratulations, guys. Y'all have been absolutely on fire here lately, and that was a really, really good weekend. We've also got another guest on, Mr. Brandon Perryman, Always Forward Barbecue. He was also at Smoking on the Rail with a huge second place pork call. And how did you finish overall, Brandon? I forgot.
Since 19th overall.
19th overall. Man, that's still out of 191 teams. Man, that's still as solid as it gets. So, man, congratulations for both of y'all. And we really do appreciate y'all being on our podcast tonight. So, let's kick it off with the brothers first, man. Tell us a little bit about you guys. I mean, y'all been getting out doing a little bit of cooking here. Seems like I'm seeing your name more and more. And, after this weekend, I think you must be getting honed in on it because y'all are getting pretty consistent as well.
Yeah. I think last year we did the most cook-offs we've done in 2024. I think we did a total of 20. And we started getting real consistent. I think we had we did have one GC, and then we had 5 third-place finishes. Most of them we lost by half a point or a point.
Right.
And then this year, we started out a little slow, but now we're getting it holding back in. It seems like when we get 3 things going good, one always tends to drop off. But
that's the way. That's normal. You'll have 2 rocking and rolling, and then you'll just have one that you can't hit the side of the barn with.
We got the grand champion in tonight right there, Carl Davis.
Yeah,
Carl. He's right there.
He grand championed it. So cast iron cookers, man, congratulations, man. He was crushing it. So I think I'm pretty sure if it was 3 top 10 walks, if I recall. Yeah. So man, that was solid, Carl. Huge congratulations to you.
When it's your day, it's your day.
Man, you ain't kidding. Yeah. And he had it going on that day. So, Stephen, appreciate you being here. So you guys did about 20 cook-offs last year. So that's very respectable. That's a lot of cook-offs. Yeah. I mean, not everybody can be like Aaron, Leslie, Robert, and Phil, and and Bill, where they cook 45 to 50 cook-offs a year. So yeah, that's a hard thing to do. So. But 20 is very respectable. Are y'all planning on doing another 20 this year? Y'all going to try to venture up to maybe 24, 25?
Well, the goal is to do a little more this year, hopefully.
Okay.
Depending on how things go, So.
Right.
We're trying to branch off a little further out than the Houston area. Houston area is pretty much where we cook. I think Smoking on the Reel was the first we've ever gone, other than going to the Royale last year.
Right.
But
okay.
That's the furthest south we've ever been. I think before that, the furthest south we had ever gone was Ingleside.
Okay.
Down by Corpus,
Right.
But now
we want to miles from me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're down in Lee's neck of the woods.
So wait, so the American Royal, was that your first KCBS event to do?
Yes, that was the first time we ever done the KCBS. And we went, knowing that it was going to be tough, but we just wanted the experience. We wanted to go up there, so it was fun. Learning experience.
Right.
Oh, it's fun. I mean, if you got the opportunity to go cook it, you need to go cook it. So.
Oh yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. So, wow. Brandon, what about you, man? I mean, how long you been cooking and stuff?
I started in April of 2023 here locally, and we did about 10 the first year, and then last year I picked up quite a bit. I did probably close to 30 cook-offs last year,
Wow, that's very
and
impressive.
So where do you live in
it,
Texas, Brandon?
what's that?
Where do you live?
I live in Hockley, so northwest Houston, suburb of Houston, right close to the barbecue store, like 20 minutes away from Hempstead.
Okay.
So you are always competing against Rene and Miguel. You are kind of always at the same cook-offs.
Yeah, I see them a lot. I'm up here. I probably live 15 minutes from Bill, so I see Bill a lot. Obviously, uh, Bobby
Robert.
Smith all the
Yeah.
time because
You're in his.
right there in Hempstead. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're always competing against the big dog. There's not
Mhm.
too many cook-offs that I go to that there's not at least
Right.
half of them are
Yeah, you either got
legit.
Robert to deal with, Bill to deal with, or both of them to deal with, and then now you got Rene and his brother Miguel. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty stacked field down there in Houston right now. That's for sure. So,
Oh yeah.
wow. So, how
Are
many
any of
cook-off?
y'all cooking the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo or Austin barbecue cook-off?
No, we've
No,
never cooked either one of those.
no,
Okay.
never.
Would like to,
Never
but
cooked
we
any of
haven't had
those.
Right.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about where y'all. What do you cook on, Rene and Miguel? What kind of y'all
Race
cook
crew
on?
drum smokers.
Okay, drum
Okay.
cookers.
Yeah,
All right.
we got two
Thanks for
the
citing them.
55 gallon. Yes, and then two 30 gallon ones that we cook on.
Okay. All right. Have you always cooked on those from the get-go?
No, we started on an offset the first year, and then about after a year and a half, we switched over to drums, and
Hmm.
we got our butt kicked for the first 5 months probably until we
Right.
got used to it,
Right.
and then we started getting a lot more consistent on it.
So let me ask you a question then, because this is always and kind of go into some detail for our listeners, because we got quite a few folks on now. Do you tend to like the flavor profile a little bit better on the drum as the offset? Or did you see a big difference in the flavor profile?
Yeah, you see a difference, but me personally, I like the offset better.
Okay.
But the drum smokers are so much easier for comp, so much faster to cook. Ain't got to be
Right.
up all night feeding the fire.
I
So
got
do you
you.
think the judges are liking the offset? I mean, liking the drum flavor better than the offset flavor right now?
Uh,
I
It's
think it just
working.
depends on where you're cooking, because I mean, I hear a lot of people, like we went down to Shiner and cooked Shiner last year, and everybody was telling us that all they cook in is offset smokers, and they were saying, well, y'all not going to do any good because y'all use drums and stuff. And so we went down there and we cooked, and we didn't change anything up. We used our drums, and we wound up hitting first place brisket, you know.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
So
wow.
it just, I don't know. I mean, to me, I like the taste better on offset, but for competition, like my brother said,
Okay.
I think so many people are using drums now. I think the flavor profiles are pretty much all the same, So
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
you can sleep in 2 hours later, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, we don't have to get up
Oh
till 5 o'clock.
yeah. Yeah, that's
So
for sure.
big difference.
What about you, Brandy? Do you cook on a drum or do you cook on a offset?
I, I'd like to play around, but mostly I cook on drums. Right now, I got 3 Quattro D drums that I'm cooking on, and I got a Gateway Go-To that I use for half chickens right now.
Okay.
But this weekend I'm switching back to uh, cooking my ribs on a pellet grill.
Okay.
Mhm.
I just had I was cooking on a pellet grill for a while last year for about 6 or 7 comps in a row and doing really good with it. And I got the new drum, so I switched back to all drums, and my ribs for some reason have fallen off. And so I'm just going back to what I know worked before,
Mm-hmm.
and going back to the pellet grill for the ribs.
Yeah.
But everything else is I cook on drums.
Do you use
Okay.
this product right here for your pellets?
Yeah, and my pellets I do. Yeah, I use the comp blend,
Yeah, the comp blend is really good.
Yeah,
B&B's
championship
got.
blend.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
champion
that's
blend is
good.
good.
championship blend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Okay. Okay. You know, it seems like the pellet cookers are just very, very easy on ribs. You have so much indirect heat. It just kisses them with just the right amount of smoke. It doesn't get them over smoky. And man, it gives them beautiful color because they color up really well. So, can you go a little bit longer? Like I know on pellet cookers, a lot of times I hear people going about 2 hours before they wrap to get good color. Where on a drum, it's usually like an hour and a half. Do you see that as well, Brandon?
So yeah, I mean, it depends. Like for me, it depends on a lot of stuff, like the time of year. Like sometimes my ribs will still color up on the pellet grill in an hour and a half.
Okay.
And they'll color up on the drum faster than that, an hour and 15 minutes, or
Right.
an hour.
Right.
Um, and I've let them go like too long where they got too darker than I wanted them to get on the drum. So I usually try to start checking them I check them every 30 minutes, but uh, right at 45 minutes to an hour mark, I'm really checking them like every 15 minutes to make sure I don't get them too dark.
Get them too dark. Yeah. Okay. Are you
And
just
you
trying
run
to get
about
that?
300, 285, 300, 320.
On the drums, yeah. When I was running race crews, I had a race crew, and that thing loves to sit at 285, which was perfect for the ribs.
Right.
These Quattro D drums, they're a lot more similar to gateways, so they'll get hotter, and they'll sit at closer to 300, 325. So you got to kind of,
Right.
and if you choke them off too much, they'll die out. So you got to run them a little hotter, the ribs a little hotter on that. Right at 300 is
Right.
usually where they're at. So, but when I go back to the pellet grill, I'll set the pellet grill right at 285.
285. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good number. All right. Good. Chris got a question. Any of you guys cooking Victoria this weekend? Yep.
No, we're taking the weekend off.
Yeah,
You're taking the weekend off. Man,
Yeah.
now's the time to put the throttle down, guys. So, it ain't time to waste. So that's funny. Okay,
There is a
Brandon, you're
cook-off
gonna
in
be there.
Sinton as well. Victoria is the state championship, but you can come on down to
I'm,
Sinton and
I'm
cook
on
this
the
one.
I'm on the Aaron
So
Leslie
it's about 70 miles
program,
south of
and
Victoria.
Oh, okay.
I'm only chasing states. So
I got you.
I
Yeah.
got two jack bones, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to get as many as I
Ooh.
can. So
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's what Aaron
Nice.
does. How many state cook-offs do you try to make most of yours state
I
championships?
would say 95% of my cook-offs out of 50 to 55 a year, about 95% are state championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Brandon, you already got two bungs. You said.
yeah, I got two jack bones so far. So
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. That's nice.
Rene and Miguel, you have any bungs for the jack?
Not
No,
yet.
not yet.
We hope to have some soon.
There you go.
Right.
There you
Yep.
go. That's the way to do
Yep.
it right there. All right, so we
Mhm.
got a pellet cooker and a drum cooker. We got two drums, came from Offset. So let's talk about a little bit about y'all's flavor profile and what y'all see, mainly down in the Houston area, because we do have a lot of cooks that are down in the Houston area. What is the flavor profile typically like on chicken and ribs and brisket? I'll let Rene and Miguel, y'all can go first on that one, because y'all are all in that same area. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, on chicken, I like a little more of a savory, and then on ribs, it's more of a sweet.
Okay.
And brisket's been a tough one for us, though. We finally hit. We took Robert's class for brisket, and
Right.
it helped us out big time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. Perfect score right off the get-go. So,
Our ribs are a little sweeter, more sweet, and then with just a small heat, a little bit of heat at the end,
okay.
And the chicken, pretty much the same way. The glaze has a little bit of heat at the end, but as far as the flavor profile on the chicken, it's not a real strong flavor profile. We try to keep it simple, so
Right.
it tastes more like chicken.
Tastes like a chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you doing a real beautiful chicken half? You doing thighs, flats,
Well,
drums?
we always run halves. That's
Run
what we
halves.
seem to do the best in.
Okay.
The chicken that we turned in this past weekend was a little darker than what we usually like. We like, a lighter color when we turn it in. But I don't know, for some reason they loved it. So
I like a
it
darker
worked for us.
chicken. I think a darker chicken does better with the backyard judge because that's what they're more cooking at their house.
Well,
So
you got those winter
Yeah.
Texas down there in Mercedes, so
yeah,
I mean, those guys are not from this area, right? And to them, that's more of a done. To them, that's
Done chicken.
what they kind of
Done
look at. So
chicken.
darker chicken usually does good around those winter Texans.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the ribs
Mhm.
are more any kind of savory or just more just pretty sweet and just
No, they're
I got
savory
you.
also. Yeah.
okay, savory sweet. Any
The,
heat?
the meat.
Any heat on anything down there?
Just a small little bit of heat on the back end. That's it.
Just a little.
It goes
Okay.
away pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's
And
interesting.
so what kind of wood do you put? You put lump, you put chunks into your fire basket?
Well,
What do you
we use chunks in our drums, and
Okay.
we use mostly pecan for our brisket and ribs. But when it comes to chicken, we like to go with apple and cherry mix.
apple and cherry?
Okay.
Are you cooking on lump or are you cooking over like Kingsford B&B something like okay, chickens
Chicken, that B&B, the orange bag,
orange bag.
and
There you
then
go.
for the ribs and pork, the brown bag from B&B, the lump,
Okay.
Okay.
The oak.
and then
Yeah.
So yeah,
and then for brisket is that Texas original charcoal.
Okay, Joey
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Brown bag.
Machados, yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
And we were using that black bag, but you can't find that more now.
Right.
Right. Right.
So
We
what
got,
we got- we run
the
full-
best. We got the best drum painter, any painter in the world. Hayabusa Lane's in the house,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
He paints airplanes, drums, anything you
Yeah.
want, offsets.
he can
He is
definitely
good. So if y'all looking for a painter, Hayabusa Lane
Yeah.
right there.
he is
Yeah, we
Sorry
run
about
we run a drum. We run a drum for each protein, a different
Okay.
drum, and each drum is filled different when it
Okay.
comes to the fuel. So,
all right.
Oh, okay.
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 What about chicken temp? Now this is this is an interesting conversation here. So everybody's kind of all over the board. Where you like your temp to be on chicken when it comes off? Saying do you temp a breast or you just only temping a thigh?
I pull it at 158, and I tempt the breast.
Okay. All right. That's good.
So I
That's-
only
I never
tempt the
tempt the
thigh. I'm at 178 to 181 in the thigh. I don't ever tempt the breast. Mike, he gets mad at me, but I'm just a thigh guy, right?
I'm stabbing
I like
I'm stabbing that
thighs.
breast. I have no problem stabbing that breast. So
yeah.
yeah.
Brandon, are you a
Brandon, where
breast
you
guy
at
or
on
thigh
the
guy?
Yeah, so yeah, my drums I'm running Texas Original. I'm running Texas Original lump and everything. And pecan chunks and everything. I don't change it around. It's all Texas Original lump, charcoal, and pecan chunks. Chicken, I actually in IBCA I found I like it more done and darker. So I run my chicken pretty hot, about 170, 175 in the breast. In IBCA. CBA I'll back it off some, it'll get 160, 165.
right?
It's just some weird difference that I found that my chickens hit better when I overcook them in IBCA.
Yep.
I think it's more
You-
old school judges in IBCA.
You got more backyard people, man.
The comps are usually in smaller towns,
Yeah.
and they're used to a more done chicken. Now I made that mistake in Mercedes. I thought I didn't hear about the Winter Texans being down there until after the comp was over. And so
That's
I
all
ran-
that's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all that's down there.
I ran my dark chicken. I actually burnt it a little bit, which I kind of did on purpose because I thought, down south, I think it'll hit, and it didn't hit. So probably should have backed it off a little more and done a more traditional IBCA or CBA half that I usually run. But I took a shot and missed, but my chicken's been doing pretty well so far. I changed it up late last year. Changed up my flavor profile and a lot of the other things that I do, and it started hitting.
Oh, that's gonna be the next thing. We're gonna be sending lie detector tests to all these guys we're gonna have them hooked up. And we're gonna be transferring the lie detector machine around to everybody. So
You got to put a little bit of Weissach in your drum also to get that good flavor, on that meat. So,
that's it. That's it.
so Brandon, you have
Oh
to
my
realize,
goodness.
right? Even though you're that far from Mexico, it is the winter time. There's about 30,000 winter Texans from Chicago, Illinois. So your demographics changes.
Canada.
Canada.
Canada,
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
they
over.
were all walking by my cook site and staring at my drums like, what are these? They never seen drums before.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's
they were loving
crazy.
those drums. I should have told Bobby that I could have sold him about 20 drums last weekend.
Wow.
You
That's
know, the
crazy.
first year that I went to Mercedes, I had my horse trailer parked back there, and I was by a corn dog booth, and we made a deal. I gave him barbecue. He hooked me up with corn dogs and
There you
whatever else
go.
he had there. We just kind of swapped. I had my back door open, and I'm over there prepping my meats. Next thing I know, here about 6 or 8 of them start walking through my trailer, and they're all just opening my pit, looking down, open things up. Well, we've never seen that. It's really cool. Here come another one, and all of a sudden I had a line. I just stepped out, and there was a line of them. They were all from like the northern Canada. They all said "Hey," everything. I mean, it's like they were way up north. They just kind of, it was about 15 or 20, and they just kind of going in. Do you mind if we look about halfway through this? Do you mind if we look? And I was like, you're already in there. Go in.
You're already in.
Next thing I know, they're inside my trailer. They're opening the door. They're going inside, checking out the front living quarters, coming back out, opening the pit. Oh, man, it's so great. They just kept coming about an hour. They just kept, finally, I just closed my doors and so I could prep my meats. But they're not
crazy.
bashful. They just they don't really have a privacy thing. They thought it was pretty neat. Those guys have a
That's
lot of
crazy.
questions to ask.
Yeah, next time they do that crap, hand them a damn paper towel and stuff so they start cleaning out that pit.
Cleaning,
Oh, well, Brandon, I'll ask you the same. What about ribs? So you got a savory chicken? Is it savory and a little sweet, or what do you do on chicken ribs and brisket?
Yeah, I wouldn't say chicken sweet. I'd actually change the sauce up, and it's a little more closer to a backyard sauce. I mean, it's got sweet to it, but it's not
Right.
as sweet. Ribs are definitely on the sweeter side with a little back end kick. You know, mostly everything is Gulf Coast Smoke. That's my sponsor. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. I use a few other seasonings, but most everything that I cook has Gulf Coast Smoke on it.
Okay.
And my pork, I make it a little more savory. Not quite as sweet. The sauce is not quite as sweet. And then the brisket, it's just really good middle of the road brisket.
Right.
Um,
Right. Not over salty, not sweet.
No, just really mellow, not too salty. Definitely not a
Do you
backyard
think
brisket.
do you think a good layer of pepper helps the Texas brisket, or kind of lay the pepper off?
I don't. So I use my top layer is LC fade to black to get that bark.
Got it.
I put a light layer of that on top, and when he came out with that, my brisket really started hitting pretty well. It was doing okay before then, but it's been really
Right.
consistently good since I started using that. And it helps give it a good, dark bark looking, but not
Yep.
with extra pepper. It's got
Right.
the
Right.
charcoal.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you. Now y'all been talking about, a sweet rib. You've been talking about sweet with a little heat. So I want to talk about the heat side. So are you getting heat from a pepper that you're putting on? Or are you getting heat from like something in the sauce that you're doing to give it that little back end heat that's delayed? How do y'all go about doing that? Because that's a lot of people have trouble with, like, man, I don't know how to quite get a heat that's balanced. Yeah, anybody can put a ton of pepper, or put a ton, black pepper, or red pepper, or cayenne or something. But how do you go about balancing your heat? We'll start with you, Rene and Miguel.
Yeah, you want to?
I'll say more of the sauce that we put on it, the glaze
Okay.
that add heat to it.
Add a little heat with glaze.
Not so much
Okay.
in the injection or anything like that.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
more-
put a little pepper flakes on it, but
right.
it's more
Right.
comes from the glaze.
Yeah, from the glaze. What about you, Brandon?
So in my wrap process, I add Southern Hospitality, which is
Hmm.
Um, their Gulf Coast, it's a version of their hospitality, but it's got a little more heat on it.
Okay.
I use that in my rack process. And then, like Miguel and Rene said, the sauce has got a little back end kick. It's got Blues Hog Original, which has some red pepper flake in it. It's got um, peach habanero, glaze mixed
Okay.
in there. So it's got that little kick to it
Little kick
as
in it.
well. So,
I got you.
yeah, that's kind of how I get it and get that little back end kick. And
Right. Right. And it's subtle with the barbecue sauce and the glazes being in it. I guess you can adjust it. Okay, I don't quite have enough. I can add a
Yeah.
little bit more. You can get the flavor that you're looking for. So, yeah, it's really interesting how y'all going about doing that. And it's kind of funny because I mean, that's kind of it's what we see in South Texas compared to what we'll see up here like in Northeast Texas. A lot of times the flavor profiles are a little bit different and stuff. And it's neat to now seems like the chicken. They just want just a good tasting chicken. I think the days, a lot of people, oh man, I want a really powerful chicken and this and that. I think sometimes that can get you in trouble. People just want a chicken that tastes like a good chicken.
Mhm.
So,
So Miguel and Renee, do you brine your chicken and also inject your chicken, or just inject only?
Both. We do
Both.
both.
Yeah.
Dubo.
Yes.
Okay.
Brandon.
so I was brining it. Um, a little background: people who've taken class. I took Bill Purvis's barbecue champs class. So a lot of the stuff I took from his class. Now I've changed it up quite a bit, adjusted it to my own, made my own, changed up a few things. But I was brining my chicken, you know, most of last year, the past year and a half, and I went away from it late last year when I changed up my chicken and just injected in the morning. And I think for me personally, I feel like brining it um, maybe changes the texture of the skin, or it can.
Mhm.
So when I went to just injecting it in the morning, about 2 hours before I put it on, I feel like I get a better bite through skin
Mm-hmm.
with it.
Yep. I agree with you on that. I agree.
Hmm.
I did the same thing. I threw away the brine stuff when I was doing a lot of testing 2023, man. I took the whole year off trying different things. And, man, there toward the end, I got away from the brining and rolled out in 24 and just said, this is what I'm going to do. And, man, I
Yeah.
hadn't looked back, and it's worked pretty well for me. So,
Mhm.
we
Yeah,
always have that one chicken. We always have the one meat that always gives us troubles, right? Man, I was crushing brisket and ribs, and chicken's all over the place. It'll hit, it don't hit, it hits, it don't hit, and I was trying to find something that really was a consistent chicken, and I just took the year off, and tried a bunch of different things,
That's your internet.
and man, finally toward the end, I just said, you know what, I'm done with the grill. I'm going back to my WSM. Went back to my 22-inch WSM, and that's all I ever cooked on for 6 years, and man, I ain't going back to grill. I can tell you that. So, and then along the way, I learned a lot of little techniques and things while I was doing it on. I started off on a Weber, then I went to an M16, and I just couldn't get the chicken to do what I wanted it to do. Color, man, I was running that thing anywhere from 350 degrees to 420 degrees, and it just did not give me the flavor that I was looking for on that chicken, and it was showing in the results. And but I was learning other things along the way, and then finally I said, you know what? I've learned a lot of new things. I'm going to apply this over now to my WSM, what I had been cooking on. And first time out, third place chicken. Next competition, third place chicken. Next competition, third place chicken. I was like, yeah, that's what we're going to stick with. So, um,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden,
Okay.
when you got your other two meats doing pretty good, then it rolls out to where, man, all of a sudden you start getting some grand champions and you're getting consistent top 10 finishes. And I don't know. I mean, to me, that's the key to it. So this year I've cooked two cook-offs. I did a complete new brisket or new rib injection, sauce, rub, everything in Blanchard. I had a 10th place rib. I went down to Bow Bridge this past weekend or two weekends ago, and I was going to try something different, and it was another 10th place. But that one, first place to 10th place, was separated by 3 points. So I was like, dang, man, that's pretty
Yeah.
close, when you have three
Yeah.
points. So it's like, man, that's a good that's a good rib as well. And the other one was good. I just had one judge that said, man, I didn't like your sauce, and they gave me a 6. So,
Yeah.
if I had got like an 8, I think the 10th place would have been like a 5th place rib.
Yeah.
So there's two really, really good recipes, but I don't know. I'm really going to try to play around. I want to really get aggressive with it like I did chicken, but at the same time, I really want to try to get some more grand champions along the way. But sometimes I think, you have to just take off and say, I've got to try something if you really are trying to get better. So do you guys ever do that? Do you ever just say, I'm going to concentrate on a certain meat and I want to really try to focus on the one that I'm struggling with the most?
So my ribs, most of last year my ribs were carrying me, my ribs and my pork. Um, I was doing really well, and then they started falling off for some reason past 3 months, and I couldn't figure it out what was going on with my ribs, why they weren't hitting anymore. And so last weekend was kind of the breaking point where I said, all right, I need to change that quite a bit because I've always been of the mind from the get go. Um, don't do too many changes. Make minor adjustments, and otherwise, if you make wholesale changes after 1 or 2 comps, you're going to end up just chasing your tail the whole time. So I'm always a very minor adjustment guy here. I'll change one thing, run it for a couple, 2 or 3 comps, see how it does, and then and then go from there. But
Yeah.
just my ribs have not been happy with my ribs at all for the past 3 months. So this weekend it's an all new rib motor. Going back to the OG um, class, simplifying things quite a bit, and cooking on the pellet grill. So it's going to be an all new motor this weekend. We'll see how
There
it
you go.
does.
Stephen has a good point. So about the chicken skin. Have you guys, Rene, Miguel, Brandon, have you ever been in the judging room to judge a cook off? Not cook it, but just go and judge and just kind of see what the other judges are doing. If they were removing the skin and just cutting the piece of chicken and then they swipe the bear's meat across the chicken barbecue sauce and then eat it, or are they looking for the skin? So I like to go and just watch the judges to see if they move the skin or if they cut through the skin and the meat. So I think the big thing is to go actually to a cook-off and watch judge or go judge, and that way we know as a cook if they're removing the skin or if they're even taking the rib and eating it from the end.
Yeah.
However it may be. So I don't
What I
Yeah.
worry.
We
I don't worry about the skin too much, really. If it blows off or if it stays on, my understanding and from what I've seen is that the judge kind of removes that skin anyway. So they just if it falls off, it falls off. If it stays on, it stays on. So and if it's staying on, I think it's going to be bite through skin anyway. So I don't think they really.
Yeah.
I may be wrong, but I don't think they pay too much attention to the bite through skin. Anybody?
Yeah, I've actually done some judging.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I may be wrong too, but
Okay,
I
I actually done some. I've actually done some judging on chicken and stuff.
Right.
And what do you call it? I did notice some people they tend to get away from the skin and just take the meat. I've seen a couple of people do that, a couple of competitions.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't think they all are too worried about the skin most of the time,
Right.
unless you're doing KCBS or something like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, and I kind of think the opposite, but I may be I've judged before, but it's been a couple of years, so maybe they got away from it. But I always felt on the halves, people want to cut through the skin and get a piece of skin to taste it. Because when you're eating a backyard chicken, that's the best. That's the best part. That people like to have the skin. So maybe I need to judge. In 2025 and see where see what's changed. But I always thought, and I always try to cut through the skin and get a piece of skin when I'm trying my the other half that I don't turn in
Right.
to see how it tastes. I'm cutting right through the skin, trying to get a piece of skin, and that determines for me like whether it was good or not. If I can cut clean through the skin with a plastic knife and get a good clean piece of skin, then I cooked it right.
Mhm.
Right. Well, I can tell you, my wife does a lot of, she helps with the judging in BCA, and which isn't here in Louisiana, and she pretty much well says they go in for the meat. After that first or second judge is done cut into it, they just pull the skin back, they cut a piece of meat, and they swab it across the top of the top of the skin to get a little sauce on it. And she says, that's pretty much well what they do. Here's Vincent. Most judges don't eat the skin; they cut the chicken and move the skin back.
Yeah.
That's what my wife has told me. She said, they don't worry about the skin. They'll cut them a piece, and after that first or second they're just pulling it back and just to get them a piece, and then they'll just take the meat and just swipe it across the sauce to get a little sauce on it.
Yeah,
So
because by the second, third judge, that skin may already be pulled back from them trying to just cut the meat.
mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's laying on the side of the box somewhere.
Yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah.
that's it. So
You will get some comments that the judges will say, "Hey, that the skin was rubbery in CBA,"
Right.
and I've had multiple comments on the same exact chicken. I've had 2 or 3 judges say that the skin was rubbery. Now, why would they say that if it counteracts what you're saying, that they pull the skin back or they eat the meat and they dip it in the sauce on the skin? So it's hard to give you that one number. And yes, most of the time when they go to cut onto it, they do pull the skin back and they go for the meat. But if you get those kind of comments, it has to make you think that one judge, you look at your appearance score or you look at your tenderness score, and they say, hey, that skin was rubbery. It's the only thing I put on there for tenderness, and your tenderness is an 8. But the meat was good. Did they dock you for the skin or not? So it's very hard at 60-40, 70-30 to know, say, well, if I go ahead and get a more of a well done skin, I think it helps you no matter what. And if you have more of an undercooked skin where it is rubbery, and if all the flavor and the sauce goes away and they're trying to dip onto it, and the meat's good, but it's better with the skin on. So it's hard to answer that, because I know people see it in the judges, but that comment doesn't reflect the judges' comments at CBA, especially CBA, because they give you comments back.
Right.
It doesn't reflect what that judge is telling you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to go against that one way or the other. So if you kind of find that middle line where the skin's not too rubbery, at the same time it's not too overcooked, then I think you still have a better chance.
Yeah, and you do. I think you still got. I mean, I still work on getting really good tender skin, and I think in CBA it's a little bit more critical, especially if you're turning in a thigh. A piece of half chicken. I mean, you got a whole big old chicken there. It's easy to get in there and cut and pull and do everything. Thighs a little bit different. They're really small. It's probably a little bit harder to pull a piece of skin off of a thigh, because more than likely y'all got that thing completely wrapped up underneath it. So it makes it a little bit harder. So I think if you have a thigh, kind of what Aaron's saying, it probably better be a pretty tender skin so they can cut it a little bit easier. So
And I think to piggyback off what Aaron said, I mean, even if it's one judge that's getting through the skin and your skin is not good, then that could sink you,
yeah,
And so why take the chance? If you can make a good bite through or cut through skin and taste good and still have a good juicy meat, then why not do it? And that's what I try to get. I try to get the whole thing.
right.
And that way, if they do eat the skin, then
It's
I'm
gonna be
good.
good.
And if
Yeah.
they don't, it doesn't matter, because they're still eating, a good piece of
Yeah,
chicken.
for sure. My goal is to have bite through skin, but sometimes I might miss that mark, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe the sauce sat too long or whatever may happen, or the chicken was done too soon and I cambroed it and the skin kind of got a little tuggy on it, and put it back on the pit, just to dry things back out. But yeah, my goal is to make it bite through, but sometimes I'll miss that mark. But I hope that has never dinged me. It probably has, but the scores still do well. So,
Right.
but
Right.
Well, to answer Vince's comment right there, that's a half chicken. That's not a wing. That's not a thigh.
Right,
That's
right,
not a leg.
right.
That's a half chicken.
Yeah.
We're talking about a half chicken because that's what these guys say they cook, and
Right.
and that was my comment was based on what these guys were cooking, which is a
Right.
half chicken.
Yeah.
And that was when I turned in half chicken only. I saw rubbery. I saw what comments that said rubbery skin. So
Yeah.
you have to hit that fine line. Obviously, if you blow a leg, you blow a
Yeah.
thigh, blow the breast meat, you're actually your skin's gonna be good.
Oh
It's
yeah.
gonna be. I mean, you're gonna have it stuck on there anyways. But I
Right.
think when you get a little undercooked on that chicken right there, it isn't quite. It's a little bit rubbery. Sometimes that judge. It's like OCD for some judge. If it isn't nice and clean and line, it's all thrown in the box and kind of it drives their mind crazy. They give you a bad score.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what organization you're cooking, what alphabet soup you're playing in. I think it all plays the same parts.
Right. And the thing is, I mean, you want to make it as easy for that judge to get in and get out to get that bite as you can. You don't want them struggling, because if they're struggling, you're done lost them. So you need to have it when they go in, cut, get the piece that they're looking for, and get out and give you a good score.
Yeah.
So
I used to love a blowed out chicken back in like the age 17, 18, 19 when you blew that breast meat right there with that breast, that thigh. Had that little air gap in there sometimes because you can extra sauce that shit.
Yeah.
When you extra sauce it, you cut it, man, that sauce would be inside that meat. When that skin was gone, there's still sauce left on top of there.
That's
So
it.
I'd make sure to extra sauce those holes,
Hold them and hit them. I ran my chicken at 550 degrees, 13 minutes, from raw to finish, turned it in. It burnt all the skin off, looked like mange on the dog. Burnt Rice Krispie treat, salt the living crap out of it. Turned it in, first place. First place.
Well, I didn't do that this year, and I still had the first place.
There you go.
It had zero skin left on it. I
Oh,
sauced it up,
gosh.
baby. First place.
That's crazy. Wow. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. We got any run wings, anyone run wings, any tips on them? Man, you just got to get a wing tender. Man, you pretty much got to butter bath them. Cook them for
So Eduardo,
30 minutes.
at the Jack Daniels 2 years ago, I ran chicken thighs and chicken flats. I guess we'll call that a wing.
Yeah, it's a flat.
Right?
Yeah,
It's a flat, right? So I got fourth place at the Jack on that. So I think take that wing pretty high temp. Cook it like you would butter bath it.
Yeah.
I cooked it in a half pan with butter in it, and then got the nice color. Then I wrapped the whole pan in foil and put the probes in the chicken flats, and I took it to 205 degrees on that flat, and took it off, and then kind of set the sauce on it and boxed it in and turned it in with my thighs and my flats, and the judges liked it.
Yeah.
But I took it to 205 degrees because I knew they're going to pick it up, and I want that skin to definitely be bite through with that little piece of meat on there. So that's what I do.
Yeah, I cook wings and thighs. I've been doing Danny D's the past 2 years, and last year, I did the jack box, the thighs with flats, and finished 8th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I got 11th.
That's really
I
good.
got 11th on that one. So
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
AJ says Peking chicken instead of duck. That's it.
Hey,
That's it. That's for sure.
you can put
Oh man, alive. Man, we've had a great show tonight. Golly, we got 60 folks on here right now. It's been a lot of good questions coming. And man, this is what we like. We're really trying to get some good information from everybody to try to help everybody. I hope we've answered everybody's questions. I know Bill.
so for across the board, apple cherry, bourbon flavored kind of people, or just kind of go with not being meat specific, but would you rather run peach, apple cherry, something different that most of us aren't running
for a glaze.
for a glaze?
I like apple cherry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smoking Wizard apple cherry. That's one. That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah. That's some good
Nice.
stuff. That is
That
some
is
good
good.
stuff. Yeah. What about you, Brandon?
I'm more of a peachy peach guy,
Okay.
and we got a little something cooking up. Gulf Coast Smoke does, and some something new that might be coming out pretty soon.
He's been
So,
cooking a lot of glazes in his kitchen. He sure has.
Yeah, he's been glazing it up, so I might be running some of that this weekend.
Okay. There you
See how it
go.
does.
There you go.
Mhm.
So yeah, now my chicken's just apple habanero and Smoking Wizard original. So yeah,
Okay. I got you.
Right.
That's good.
That's
No
a great
fruity stuff.
combination too.
Yeah, no
That's a
fruity
good
stuff. My motto,
combination.
doing pretty
It
decent.
gives it a
That's
pretty color also. That
Yes,
combination,
Yeah.
gorgeous color.
the sauce, not the glaze. It's the sauce, right?
Yeah, right.
That's
It's his
right.
original sauce.
It's the original sauce. He calls it a glaze. It looks like a
Yeah.
sauce to me. We love it though. It's awesome. That's some good stuff. All right, guys. Well, look, we really appreciate y'all being on here. First of all, Brandon, I'm gonna give you a shot. Any sponsors that you want to thank and for support and everything else?
Yeah, of course, Gulf Coast Smoke, Alonzo Cantu, um, the barbecue store, Dustin and Atlanta Stanley, and the chopping block, John Turner.
Yeah.
Those are my three day one sponsors. So those
Okay.
are
Okay.
John's good people.
Yeah, absolutely. Miguel and Rene, what you guys got? Any sponsors?
We got the same sponsor he just named. We got Alonzo with Gulf Coast Smoke. He picked us up this year. He's sponsoring us. We have the Chopping Block, John. He sponsors us. And Dustin over at the barbecue store also. He sponsored
Okay.
us. And
Gotcha.
we've even had Amp Mafia sponsor us before too. So
Oh,
they're the ones
Justin.
that.
Okay, there you
Oh,
go. Good deal. Yeah, Aaron heard
Also,
everybody's. Aaron, let's see, no trivia questions from Aaron, please. That hurt my head, man. I'm telling you, a couple of weeks ago, Aaron, you need to work up another one of them.
Don't ask
So,
me a question because I'll give you one.
yeah, he'll give us something that'll be crazy.
All
All right, guys. Next week, Lee is not going to be able to make it, so Aaron, you're going to be on tap.
I'll be in Mar-a-Lago. I'm
He's
going
gonna
down to
be
see
in
Trump at
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago on the Florida Keys.
Man,
There you
the
go.
dynamic
All right.
duo. We'll script the trio. Go
That's
back
it.
to the duo. You're
That's
out,
it.
Lee. Boom, you're gone.
So we are working on trying to get Brad Landergren here for next week. As you know, he was inducted to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. And I reached out to him. He was in Taiwan last week, but I think he's supposed to be back. So we're going to try to have Brad Landergren on here with Getting Basted
Oh, beefy
next week.
Jesus.
And hopefully that works out. If he's back and he's able to do it, we'll have him on here. So Brandon and Rene and Miguel, thank y'all so much for being on our show. Thank you for all of our listeners tonight. We really, really do appreciate y'all being here. Hey, I'm going to ask everybody a real quick question while you're still on. We're really fixing to make a big push on our YouTube channel. So if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, do me a favor, just real quick. Just search Barbecue Champs Academy YouTube and just do a Google search and it'll take you right to our page. And if you would, go hit that subscribe button. And we're going to try to see if we can start cranking out a lot more content on our YouTube channel. Anyway, if y'all would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for being with us. Lee, Aaron, thank you for joining us. And I hope everybody's enjoyed our podcast tonight. And as we always say, y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Go out there, have a lot of fun.